Bum, bum, bum. Welcome everyone to the Art of War Hangout and Hobby paint stream. I'm John Lennon, joined today by the one, the only, the Unstoppable Destroyer.
All-Seeing Annihilator, Unstoppable Destroyer in the same place, same time, at the paint stream.
That's Richard Siegler. How are you doing today, Rich?
Not too bad. I'm working on some Tau stuff. More Remora stealth drones, John. I think they're actually quite strong.
You know what? More Remoras? I'm not going to disagree with that.
I just like the fact that Tau can move block the objectives early and just hold opponent's primary for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice, cheap flyers like that, and especially low-profile ones. Welcome everyone to the Art of War Hangout and Hobby paint stream. I'm John Lennon, joined today by the one, the only, the Unstoppable Destroyer.
So I'm gonna go All-Seeing Annihilator, Unstoppable Destroyer in the same place, same time, at the paint stream.
That's Richard Siegler. How are you doing today, Rich?
Not too bad. I'm working on some Tau stuff.
I like to hear that, honestly. It's been a while on the Tau. You know what? More Remoras, Tau, but you know, it's been a bit.
I just like the fact that Tau can move block the objectives early.
Oh, he's speeding out our when it's Tau. That's always something a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. Nice, cheap flyers like that. That's especially low-profile ones. Welcome everyone to the Art of War Hangout and Hobby stream. I'm John Lennon, joined today by the one, the only, the Unstoppable Music's still going. Is this a
Annihilator, Unstoppable Destroyer in the same place, same time, at the paint stream.
Siegler, how are you doing today, Richard?
Working on some pop this. How about that?
There's probably less music.
There shouldn't be music in this one, but you never know. Music is looped. Let me go... Well, the break screen won't be live again. Are you talking about on our screen itself or on the break screen? Because I can go change the break screen a little bit. But if it's looping right now, do let me know ASAP. But I'm only seeing one mic here, the Yeti.
Dun, dun, dun.
Voices sound low. We can always up the gain there. And maybe when Nick was playing around, there it is. Yeah.
Oh, why would Nick do
up it
such
a little
thing?
bit? There we go. That should be good.
Are you suggesting Nick was playing around with the technology again?
Well, as soon as Nick starts touching the tech, I mean, anything can happen.
Absolutely. You're really just spinning a roulette wheel there.
That's why you come hang out.
All right.
How fast can we fix what Nick has done?
This is why we keep Richard around. Bottom line.
Fix now. Perfect.
Excellent.
Oh, Nick. Right. Never change.
All right. I actually need to go grab the stuff that I primed and forgot to grab before the paint stream. So I'll be right back with some attack bikes.
Attack bikes.
Attack bike hype. It's still alive and well.
I am working on a ghost keel. No, not because I'm going to be playing it on Thursday, but because it's one of the few Tau models I don't actually have fully painted. So, working on a ghost keel, and these Remora drones once that contrast paint finishes. How's it going, everybody? Corey, Garrett, Hunter, RJ, Bigo, how you guys all doing? Hopefully the music, fixed now. No, no problem. Sometimes Nick gets in here and he's like Makari. Anything could possibly happen. Anybody working on some cool hobby projects themselves? I'm going to just brighten the red up here on this ghost keel. Look at this guy. They just need to be a little cheaper, honestly. And I'd start running the ghost keels. John is going ahead and grabbing his attack bikes, but if you check out behind us on this slideshow I have going, all those Drukari models that you're seeing, the Raiders, the Sliths, those are going to be part of our new Drukari army thanks to Golden Globe Gaming, our paint studio. So we got the first shipment of the Drukari army ready for this Thursday's game where Drukari is going up against John Lennon's Dark Angels in the Streamhouse RTT, and I'm sure we're going to have plenty more of those Drukari, as that is a devastating codex. Not what John wants to face. He wants none of it. Painting 100 Poxwalkers for an RTT? What are you, Mark Perry? That is a lot of Poxwalkers, but honestly I think, especially if you're going Harbingers, that is genuinely a strong build. Not a lot of armies can just deal with 100 Poxwalkers quick enough. But then there are some armies that can, like the Airbrush Crisis unit.
I like to think the Custodes Dreadnoughts will also deal with them. That's more optimism on my part.
I think that's more optimism than math. Especially when Mark throws his Feel No Pains around. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, we'll find a way.
1 a.m. in in the Philippines just finished that Siegs Necrons versus John Lennon Blood Angels. Was up AOW 40K. That is awesome. That was a great game John and I played a while ago. That was also a sub match, and we always have a lot of fun with those ones. And it's been a little while since we had Blood Angels, so maybe we'll get them back soon enough. Or Flesh Terrors, because we have Gabriel Seth, right, John?
Oh, there's nothing I want more than Gabriel Seth. You know he's my favorite, right?
He's
Gabriel
a
Seth's
giant
the best.
chainsword.
That he is a giant chainsword. He doesn't carry a giant chainsword. Gabriel Seth is the name of the chainsword. There just happens to be a space marine, providing legs. Chainsword's doing all the work here.
Just finished working on a Biologist Putrefier.
Ooh. Not bad. When you started with Bio, I was hoping that was going to be a Biophagus,
Biophagus.
Or perhaps even an Alchemicus Familiar, but a Biologist Putrefier, the biology professor, what a guy, still pretty darn good.
He does have a lot of competition in that Death Card character lineup, though.
Yeah, no kidding. They have a nasty character lineup.
About to start painting with you boys, trying to make the Dallas Open. That would be excellent to see you there, Hunter. I know Mr. John Lennon's trying to get there. Nick is going to be going.
I'll be there. Nick will be there. I believe Mark is aiming to be there as well. So we should have quite a few of the gang there. If you're able to make it, we would love to see you there.
Think you might be playing Custodes there, John?
You know what? It's not technically impossible. But, what are the odds of Drukari FAQ drops in time, right?
No. Right after. Weekend after.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely considering the new Drukari. I know Nick is very excited about the new Drukari, so he will certainly be taking them, I'm sure. But I'm definitely considering those Dark Elves. I've played them before, and I've been getting a lot of practice and reps in with the new Codex. It's a very strong army, so... they've got to be at the forefront of everyone's minds right now.
Costed aggressively.
That's a good way to put it. They are aggressively costed.
We really want to see Drukari on the table. Here's how you do it.
Well, you will see Drukari on the table. Have no fear about that.
About to paint some Raiders. Oh, more Drukari.
More Drukari? Who could have seen this coming? Certainly not GW.
Hellions are competitive. What would be their best use?
Yeah, Hellions are definitely competitive. I personally like them in smaller, like about 10-man units, rather than as like a giant brick by themselves.
You don't want 20 Hellions floating around?
I don't think I want 20. I think 10 is a good number. Just a very fast, good, all-around unit. It's really just like a flex choice, where it could be very good for shooting. It does put out 20 shots, can advance and shoot. Very good in combat, very fast, still infantry, so it can do actions, go through walls, it flies. It's just a very good, linebacker unit to just have in your backfield that can go respond to threats, because it is so speedy, or just apply pressure to the enemy. It's not tough, but you know what? Any 2-wound Drukari model is tougher than it could have been. So, and toughness 4, not even toughness 3. So, it's not fragile by Drukari standards.
We got a $3 super chat from Clown Mode. Thank you so much, Clown Mode. Good to see you again. How do I play Novak Silent King into Dark Eldar? I think you have to go for a more MSU approach. So instead of trying to buff the 20-man bricks to the hilt, I think it's more 10-mans in the Ghost Arcs. Now, 10-man still put out decent. They disembark, they get the full rerolls from the Silent King, then they get the rerolls in combat. It's still good. It's not, but you're not putting all your eggs in a couple 20-man baskets, which can just die. So I actually think you run more Ghost Arcs, you have more units overall, more screening, and I'm also skeptical on Novak now. I think you actually just need more OBSEC on the board, especially because the Drukari are going to be sitting in transports for the most part. Yeah. Once they're out, you can kill them, no problem. It's because they're in the transports, so you need to be charging your Ghost Arcs onto objectives, into the Raiders, that type of stuff, and using a lot of emergency disembarks to get around it. But
yeah, that makes a ton of sense to me.
That's how I would do it, is a more MSU approach. You're still running all the core units, the Warriors and the Lich Guard. I would just go for smaller units overall and just have more stuff on the board. Can we take a moment to recognize a Necron Reanimator was in the second place list at RatCon? That's a hero right there.
Ooh.
A Reanimator.
I hadn't checked out the results from RatCon yet, actually. I wasn't aware of that about. Where was RatCon held?
I am not sure.
Dun, dun, dun. Hopefully some of the chat can illuminate us.
Somebody can illuminate what did end up winning RadCon.
Yeah, I usually wait for a good old Meta Monday in the War Room to figure out what happened this weekend, but I am willing to look early here.
And that's going to be done by Brad and Skari this week, right?
Indeed it will. Indeed it will.
I was hearing over the grapevine that Drukari were doing really well.
Yeah, I actually had a small conversation with the one and only Peter the Falcon about the
Falcon himself.
The Falcon, and apparently Dark Elder posted a 72% win rate.
That's it?
On events that used VCP this weekend.
72%. Still a little way to go to Iron Hand levels.
That's actually higher than Iron Hands were on release.
Well, not when we got our hands on it, John.
That's true. That's different.
Want to promote the coaching a bit. Thanks to John's teachings, I got 20 out of my 40 at the first event, only up from here.
All right, well done. And is that Kyle Norman?
That is Kyle.
Well done, Kyle. That was Kyle's first event that he'd ever been to in person. So I'm very happy with that, and onward and upward, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, with John's teachings, sky's the limit, honestly.
He's playing some good old Dark Angels, and it's an army that I expect to do quite well in the future.
You are playing them this
I
Thursday.
am playing them indeed.
We're
going to crush some Drukari, maybe. No, we're totally going to crush Nick, guys. No problem. Child's play.
Child's play.
Child's play. That's part of the Streamhouse RTT. Always fun.
The dice haven't forsaken Nick in a little while.
Yeah, it's true. It's time. It's got to be coming around.
It's time.
Right?
When does a list become a skew list, and when is it an all-comers list? Which category would your RTT list fall under? That's a great question.
Ooh.
So let's handle that first part.
I think a list becomes a skew list when it really is emphasizing one aspect of its gameplay for why it can win games. Yep. So I think of something like 6 flyers as a skew list because you're really basing it on my opponent can't handle multiple flyers.
Yep.
And a lot of lists can't. A lot of lists can kill 1 or 2 a turn, and then those elements get killed by the other 4 flyers, and suddenly there's 4 flyers and no more anti-air.
Yeah.
And that's bad. So I think any list can become a skew list if it puts its game plan really solidly on one aspect of the army and its opponent's inability to deal with it.
Yeah, think back to Nick Rose's Orc list from 8th edition where he was running like 300 Gretchen.
Yep.
There's some armies that they loaded too heavily on anti-tank. They can't deal with that. That army doesn't kill much, so you're just going to exist in front of them the whole game. But if you don't have the particular type of firepower, you just lose the board control game.
Exactly. I don't think that my Custodes list is capable of killing 300 models.
Yeah.
Like I just need morale
especially
checks
if they
at
have
that.
the invuln.
Yeah, at that point I need them to fail a bunch of morale checks. That's my only way out. Yeah. And that's not what I like to rely on against orcs.
If you're really designing a list that is trying to take advantage of an opponent who is making an all-comers, where they're trying to do a little bit of everything, but they can't do one particular thing that your list is weak against, that's heading towards skew.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, like that Orc Gretchen list was a very good list. I think Nick had a lot of success with it, but I would imagine that when people started bringing in character dreadnoughts and triple Iron Hand repulsors, that was probably the point where Horde Orcs stopped appearing in the meta, because suddenly there were take-all-comer lists that could handle the particular question being posed by that skew list.
I got to watch Mark Parker experience that directly.
You were next to that, weren't you?
I was right next to that.
Was that our...
Both of us were next
That's right, that was next to her. Yeah, that was a fun day.
That was just... oops, all the orcs are on his card again after turn 2.
Yeah, that was rough.
And then in terms of the RTT lists, both of mine are all-comers. I expect to do well in every matchup, not to have any particularly awful matchups.
Yeah.
But some are more difficult than others. So both the Tau and the Admech are designed to be good into a wide variety of the meta.
Mm-hmm. I don't think either of my lists are particularly skewed either. If I'm skewing at all, I added a little more firepower than normal to my Dark Angel list, but I don't think that in and itself is a skew list.
It's tailoring to the specific meta, making small changes to suit you against things like Drukari, where you really need to kill the boats early.
Yep.
That's what John's doing there. But he's not... if there was one piece of tech that was amazing against Drukari, but awful into other things, you probably wouldn't switch to it.
No, probably not. I really was already feeling that I wanted some longer range after some games I played with my Dark Angels. I won most of those games. I think I've only lost once with the Dark Angels. But I still kind of wanted a little bit more of a range element, so the Contemptor was a very good fit. I really like him because Dark Angels have a ton of Doctrine Manipulation, which that guy really appreciates. And then from that point, I just wanted a little more weight of fire, and that's where the Terminators came in. And that was just gearing the army to be more shooting and less close combat. So, and that was very much a specific to Drukari adjustment. We'll see if that we'll see how effective it is.
We'll see how it works. Just starting brand new Craft World army, trying to figure out my recipe for black. I will tell you the perfect recipe is called Contrast Black Templar Paint.
Oh my goodness.
Just
Black Templar Contrast is fantastic.
That is the black that you need.
Yeah.
And it saves you a ton of time. I used it on my Viola Breachers. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used it on a lot of my weapons, like my bolters.
How's it going, Christian? Hope you're doing well as well. We had an awesome weekend, and we are excited for this week, in which we have 5 Streamhouse RTT games and the War Room game.
Oh my goodness.
So this is a full week of Art of War content. We've got, obviously, our normal Tuesday, Thursday Streamhouse RTT games. That's going to be tomorrow, John Lennon's Imperium Soup, Guard Custodes versus Mark Perry's Death Guard army.
A ton of Poxwalkers
which has
there.
100 Poxwalkers and just a lot of stuff.
Clean 100 Poxwalkers.
And then on Thursday is the Dark Angels versus Drukari.
Oh, yes.
That is going to be an epic matchup. 2 of the strongest books to come out so far, head-to-head. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday are going to be the 2 semifinals and the final. And we're going to find out what those matchups are by Thursday.
Yep, I'm really excited for that.
Your Mechanicus army in Action 6 is pretty nasty. It is nasty, and it's subtly so, because it's not Mars, so you're not like, oh, he's going to just dump a ton of mortal wounds on me, or not going. He doesn't have the huge Iron Strider unit for, +1 to wound, pop and Wrath of Mars, that type of stuff. And it doesn't have, like, it's not spamming the horses anywhere. Nope. It doesn't have, like, 24 horses in the middle of the table. Instead, it's just everything does damage from a wide variety of angles, and pretty much anything can act as a screen when I need it to. I can make. I did that sacrificial play, which I really like, where you send one Cerberus Raider unit out on one side, and then a Vanguard unit on the objective on the other. If they want to wrap the Vanguard, cool. I get points out of it. Then I emerge. Then I get out of there with the strat. And if not, they kill it. Fine, they just kill 5 Vanguard, no problem. Yeah. And I still have Cerberus Raiders for the following turn. So that has really worked well for me. And then obviously the bombers are incredible.
Oh, I can't argue with those bombers.
They are so good. I used every strat in the book on them, and I was proud of that. I usually don't do the turn off auras because it's only effective against defensive auras, and usually characters are protected so you can't land within 6. But against things like Morty and the lack of bodies Mark had, I was able to get in there, turn off his no rerolls, and Metallic and Lung got to finally put it into action, and it worked. Yeah,
it's such a great toolkit for Admech to have access to. We got some really cool jank in there, honestly.
Also, I got to use the strat.
Oh my god. Exaltations of
Exaltations of the Omnissiah, -1 to combat attrition.
Yeah,
when your opponent's under half and really wants those Terminators to survive.
1s, 2s, and 3s start killing people. That gets pretty awkward.
Oh, that was probably never gonna use it again.
Nope, but it was a beautiful moment. You deserve that. Mark did not deserve that, but it happened anyway.
No, I felt bad doing it, Mark.
Yeah, you did. The Omnissiah does not know remorse nor pity.
No, but we can pretend. How does John feel his Custodes IG list matches up into Drukari in general, and are there any tech pieces he would want to add to do better in that matchup?
I think that it's tolerable because the army has if I just focus my command points all onto defensive stuff, I think I can actually survive Drukari fairly well. Nothing Drukari have really does good damage into the Dreadnoughts. Dark Lances will be annoying for the Gladius at range, but it's going to be slow going because I've got that solid 4-up invuln. So really it's just a question of, if they get even 1 a turn, that's a little above average. But they're not going to just carve through them immediately. And all of their close combat, witches, take them down to strength 3, even if they have the +1 strength, and then potentially turn off their rerolls. It's -1 to hit, wounding on 6s. I've still got a very solid armor save. They're not going to do enough damage. And also I can easily shoot into combat with my flamers, and I've just got a bunch of attacks. So I don't feel bad about the killing war against Drukari. What I'm more worried about is the MSU aspect of the army and their ability to contest primaries. And that's where I'm looking at, could I afford to add a couple of transports to the guard attachment to protect that OBSEC a little better? Yeah. And so far I haven't found a way to do it, but I will probably continue to experiment with the army. This is my first stab at the 5 Dreadnought list, and I really like it, but I'm afraid that if I lean too hard in one thing, it takes away from the fact that I'm going Dreadnoughts.
I have my list written for the Maryland Open and Atlantic City Open. My Drukari have some spice in the list I don't see anyone really talking about. Well, I cannot wait to see that spice.
What is that spice? Lay it on us. Who is that?
Matt is keeping secrets here.
Matt's keeping secrets? All right. Well, I will... I think Nick was considering going to the Maryland Open, wasn't he? I don't know if he's decided yet, but he's definitely in the
I think
cards.
he wants to try.
Ooh, okay.
I'll be at Dallas Open too, says Corey. Well, are you going to be bringing that double Tesseract vault list?
Oh my god. Do I need to prepare for the double Tesseract?
The double Tesseract.
Round 1, I've got my careful Drukari army. Double Tesseract runs me over. Dang it.
Can we just take a moment to recognize Necron? Nope, I got that one already. The Reanimator doing work, which I'm glad to see it, because I still think it's overcosted. It just has too many conditions on it. And then you look at Drukari stuff, and it's like, you get everything.
Yeah.
It's excellent. I want my new units to be good. Do you think just skipping witches in favor of 6x5 Technomancer racks is an option? Without big witch bloods, you can easily get while we stand on the characters.
So, it's definitely an option. Frankly, I don't think that there's a wrong approach to Drukari right now, because there's just so much good stuff in that book.
It's just so darn good.
I think that like there's multiple GT winning level lists in this book that are completely different from each other, and I mean completely different. So yes, that could work. Dark Techno racks are fantastic. I like having 3 squads at a minimum, but if I could find the slots, going up to 6 would not suck. I think Witch Cult is really hard to give up. I would actually rather give up Cabal than Witch Cult, but that's just me. You could definitely go with one way or another, and again, you wouldn't be wrong either way.
These streams are a great excuse to paint for me, basing on my 30 Terminators after an agonizingly long painting process. 30 Terminators.
30 Terminators? Well, the plus side is, as soon as you're done there, you will never need another Terminator.
Nope. 30 should be good.
Do we think this is Death Guard? Do we think this is Dark Angels? Or is he an absolute madman playing Custodes? I like to think he's a madman playing Custodes.
He's playing White Scars, John.
30 White Scar Terminators?
I want to see it.
White Scar Terminators are actually not bad.
Right?
They really aren't.
You know what? They're Flesh Terror, because they're led by the Terminator with the relic to advance and charge.
My god.
That's the
secret sauce right there.
How much does an airbrush help you guys prepare armies for tournaments?
I love my airbrush. It really depends on what armies I'm going for. Frankly, I probably should have done airbrushing on this Dreadnought, but I don't like to airbrush on the paint stream because the volume is not conducive to talking. It's not actually that loud. You know what? We should check sometime to see how much of that gets picked up. I think it's just a little bit of a mess to try to do on stream. And so I'm just painting this one on stream. But I use my airbrush a lot, especially on my non-Space Marine armies, mostly because my Space Marines with their half scheme, it's a little bit harder to airbrush that.
So I get that masking tape out.
Putting masking tape like to the level required on infantry is frankly about as long as painting by hand, so I just do it by hand. But I definitely use my airbrush a lot on my other armies. Like my knights were almost entirely airbrush.
I don't airbrush at all, but I do use the contrast paints from time to time.
Hey, contrast is pretty good.
Contrast is very quick. But I still like hand painting. Tested a one-off Monolith list against Dark Drukari. Surprisingly went well. Managed to get a whole wounds up against the Raider before it blew up. The Monolith is... Why is it a... If it
was a heavy support, I would genuinely consider it.
Yeah, the fact that it's super heavy.
Yeah, it's just the -3 command points that's not actually on its data sheet, but is on its data sheet.
Yeah.
That is what hurts me the most.
If they had a special rule, too, where it was free if it was in something like that, they wanted to give it that battlefield role, but instead made it so you don't pay the tax if you bring a Monolith, that could have been cool.
I think you just make it a heavy support.
Yeah, you make it heavy support, but let's not be too reasonable here.
It's so close to being like everything I want it to be.
It has good strat support.
They actually gave the Monolith good rules, which is like the most insulting part, is that it was so takeable but so bad for so long. And now it's like, you know what? This is not aggressively, but this is reasonably costed for what it does.
Yeah.
Right? It's a pretty good thing. And they're just like, nope. Lord of War. Surprise.
Which it was a surprise. Nobody was expecting that.
No.
Especially because
Like when
Necron's
Scouts
got
went-
a new Lord of War.
Yeah, when Scouts went to Elite, it's like, all right, you know what, we deserve that. Monolith to Lord of War. it's
Nobody
like,
was abusing the Monolith.
what? Seriously, that is a puzzler for me.
Ratcon is in Australia. Ah, okay.
Was that the event perhaps won by Matt Morrisoli? I know that our fellow Art of War coach Matt Morrisoli had a wonderful run with the new Drukari at a tournament this weekend, but I'll admit I only looked at his list. I don't recall the name of it, and I don't recall what second place was, so very possible that it was...
Congrats again to Matt.
And congrats again to Matt. Absolutely fantastic job.
Yeah, he is killing it down there in Australia.
Matt claims he was not a bandwagon player. He was playing Dark Elder in 5th edition.
Since 5th edition.
Since 5th edition, which is okay.
I've had Drukari models since 5th edition as well, John.
I've had Drukari models since 8th edition.
Perfect.
The last time they were really good. So, you know what? I am a bandwagon Drukari player. No arguments there.
Christian says, finished my 2,000 points NIDS list painted in 3 weeks based on your list, John. Tested it this week against Death Guard. Felt solid, but really difficult to deal with top lists such as Death Guard with double Contemptor. How do you deal with a list like that can kill Demacaron's turn 1?
Against yield double Contemptors, it depends really on what level of line of sight blocking you have. Basically, you can afford to lose a Contemptor you can afford to lose a Demacaron turn 1, and it's not actually the end of the world. If you go first, just throwing one in there to apply pressure is always wonderful. And if not, as long as you only lose one turn 1, you can frankly buff up the second one with a Catalyst and still throw it in to really just go for the distraction element. Against the Contemptors, I really try to get them to a spot where if they're shooting the Demacaron, they're in range of the Hive Guard, because a double tapping Chronos Hive Guard unit has very good odds of killing a Contemptor in one volley, or not in one volley, in one shooting phase if you double tap. So that would be what I'd usually go for. Is like if you're gonna get shot no matter what, try to set up so that for them to shoot you, they can be shot at by Hive Guard.
How long would shipping take on the Forge World book? I want to run Wraith Seers in 2 weeks, but don't have the book. If you order it from Warpfire Minis, they could probably get it there pretty darn quick.
I don't think you can. It's
No,
a
you
Forge
can't.
World exclusive.
You have to order it from Forge World?
Yeah, you can't buy that from
What?
the GW website.
Why
Yeah,
are they so...
that very much depends on where you are. Unfortunately, there have been some delays with the combination of Brexit and COVID, so I don't really know how long it would take to get you that book there.
If it's Forge World itself, it can take at least, I'd expect, 2 weeks.
I think it's a good thing to buy anyway, just because it has rules for almost every faction. But I would say if it's something you're interested in, just order it, and then maybe ask a friend who has it if they can just take a picture of the Wraiths to your data sheet.
Yeah.
And that's usually enough for a tournament.
Most tournaments. Though check with the TO, because sometimes they only accept having the physical book, which is a little restrictive in my opinion.
A little bit. Yeah, some TOs will do that, certainly.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Mm-hmm. Not often, but it can happen.
In your game testing, has there been any unit that has surprised you lately? Something under the radar or was thought bad, but is now okay?
Man, I feel like all of those under the radar units quickly became over the radar, so I don't think of them as under the radar anymore.
Remores is the one for me.
Yeah, the Remores were really cool.
I actually really have liked them in the games that I played. I'm going to run 4 of them against Nick on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. This isn't something I've put on the table, but it's something I want to put on the table soon. That is Arcoflagellants for Sisters of Battle.
Mm.
This is my theory crafting. It's been under the radar for a while because it hasn't been that good. I think the meta is finally ready for the Arcoflagellants.
They're ready for the Arcoflagellants?
Yep, I think they're ready. I think now's the time. I've got a bunch of them. I think I'm next time I play Sisters, which based on the now 5 new plastic kits they have shown us, I may just wait a month or two and see what is in future for Sisters and just wait till then. But
Sisters are getting a lot.
Sisters are getting a lot of plastic models. I'm like, oh darn. You know what? Sisters needed an extended plastic line, so if they're going to become like a mainstream army, I'm totally okay with this. I don't think anyone can complain about the Sisters. I will complain, about if Space Marines get another plastic line, I will be like, all right, let's talk to the Tyranids first.
We gotta get a new
But
Primaris
Sisters,
line.
I'm okay with that. Primaris Grey Knights, perhaps.
Primaris. Well, I would accept that.
All right, so Nick non-divided fashion. I've put a wash on this, and I'm just going to set this aside for an hour.
Excellent job. So we do it here.
I guess I'll wash.
Any way to get around work. I thought the RTT game was today. Does anyone know when the next match is? It is, in fact, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. That is going to be Mark Perry's Death Guard, led by 100 Boxwalkers, not the 2 Demon Princes.
I don't know if they're being led by the Boxwalkers.
They're led by
Typhus is there.
Oh, Typhus is...
Who is that guy anyway?
Who is Typhus?
Bit of a scrub, if you ask me. I think Trajan's going to kill Typhus.
Up against John Lennon's Imperium Soup, which is Custodes plus Guard.
Absolutely. I, for one, am super excited to play that game.
You confident, John?
Absolutely. I have Trajan Valaris, and I checked Mark's list. He's playing Death Guard, but I double-checked in case he was cheating. He still doesn't have Trajan Valaris in the list, despite my recommendations. Therefore, I can only assume that victory is inevitable.
It's a sad state of affairs. Well, Trajan has an excellent track record on our stream.
That's true. Trajan has killed Abaddon, so I think Typhus is next. I might as well just
Not only did he kill Abaddon, but he got him.
With the Misericordia.
Never forget the Misericordia.
I would never forget the Misericordia. That is the most important piece of war gear in that codex.
Well, it's the only thing that you can buy when your list is 182 points and there's nothing else to add.
Yep.
1982, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What can I add? Misericordias.
But there are no other options.
If they didn't have the Misericordias, you wouldn't actually be able to do anything. You'd be playing with all these weird custodial lists.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny. But yep, that is exactly what happened.
Alright. What do you think of the Raider Rack and Harley boat list? 5 Raiders, 5 Fusion boats.
Oh, man. I think Covens is the best Dark Eldar to soup. Because losing Advance in Charge, well, it's nice to have Advance in Charge, and it's also nice to have that invul. I think that is definitely Kabbalah is the place, or sorry, Homunculus Covens is the way to do it. Honestly, I could see that being really good. Just Liquefier Racks are fantastic as Dark Technomancer. I assume that's what's happening here. And I don't know if you need 6 Raiders, but definitely Fusion Boats and Harlequins and Liquefier Raiders does seem like a very good combination. So I think that could be a very cool list. Cool, like in the context of Dark Eldar. Like I would not want to play against that at all. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how the mirror goes, because you really need the ability to kill transports, and which cults don't help there?
Not much.
Not much.
Killing transports in close combat is always begging for the things in close combat to whack you.
Yeah. Or shoot you the next turn.
Or shoot you, whatever it is. All those open-topped transports would be that'd make an interesting army, though. Cannot deny that at all.
Soaring Sprite also has great strat support, so good stuff there. Yeah, I'd be interested to see that list on the tabletop.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, I bet.
That's my issue with Deathwatch. Have the tools, but not good enough at any one thing to beat top armies.
I think Deathwatch are capable of beating top armies. I think that they're, heinously underexplored. We have a Deathwatch army. It's just kind of been the next project. It was going to be Nick's painting project, but I think that may have fallen to me. So I will try to get some Deathwatch painted up myself so we can really go deep into them here at the Art of War.
Yeah, Drukari arrived, and that was
the end of it for Nick. His eyes just went wide as dinner plates, and he's like, oh man, this army looks broken. I'm going to finally beat John. In Nick's defense, it did work. Can't argue it yet, but I'm not done trying.
You got the chance for revenge this Thursday, John.
Absolutely. Time for the Dark Eldar to prove their worth. I'm excited for that one. We're gonna kill some elves. No doubt in my mind.
How are you gonna deal with the succubus?
She happens and I kill her after. If I'm being honest with you.
Is that just what Marines have to accept?
I think that's what armies have to accept. The alternative is that if you can find a way to kill the boat the succubus is in, kill everything character protecting her when she pops out, and then shoot her, that's your best bet. Or if you have a really fast melee unit and you can push it right next to the boat, kill the boat, and still be able to charge her when she gets out, that's an option. But realistically, my Dark Angels are not fast enough to put a melee unit in a spot like that. So I think my best bet is... just, honestly, take it on the chin, and I need to be in a position to go kill her after she takes her pound of flesh. The -1 damage Terminators will hopefully help me there. And I'll just space on my characters to make sure that she can't ever get 2 of them.
Yeah.
And also hopefully draw her in deep enough that a 6-inch Consolidate doesn't get her back behind boats where she's safe. That's my goal.
I like my way of going with bringing aircraft.
Aircraft do not hurt.
Small aircraft units and grab drone. That is not what Drukari melee wants to see. Yeah, you can ignore Overwatch if you can't get there. So,
like, I'm
obviously
very
not every
interested
army
to
has
see what you can do into those Drukari.
anything you guys would want to see in the coming Orc Codex for them to be competitive?
Honestly, I love those stupid squig models. I say that they're stupid, but I love them.
There's been a serious lack of speed freak.
Yeah, honestly, I just really hate the more boys archetype. And I get it, Orc players, this is not directed at you. You're working with what you got. So I'm not mad at you for running more boys. But I think that is a stupid way to play Orcs, and I think it's boring. So hopefully GW gives non-Horde more options. I don't want, Orcs to be an elite army. That's not the point. But I just don't want more Orcs to be the only competitive answer for Orcs. It can still stay viable. I want to see the vehicles and the fast stuff and the weird stuff be more viable.
Yeah, I don't want to see 18 Smasher Guns plus.
No, when, we only have 2 viable data sheets, so we're going to spam them. It's like, okay, cool. That's just very boring, I think. So I would love to see all the different buggies be viable. A couple of them are actually pretty decent now. I know some people have had some pretty good success with the buggy lists. But some of them are still garbage. Like, make the Rocket Truck Squid buggy. Make that thing useful. It has the most fun name that I can actually remember, because I can't remember the names of the other ones.
Boom Snazwagon or whatever.
It's the Boom Daka Snazwagon,
Boom
I
Daka
think.
Snazwagon.
Boom Daka Snazwagon, obviously. Yeah, just, throw some love. Throw some love to the odd units.
Or their bigger vehicles.
The Gorkanaut, the Morkanaut. I would not be opposed to those being pretty decent. That'd be
What about the Mech Boy shop?
Okay, yeah, you know what? Give it rules. Because I'm pretty sure they didn't give it rules. Like, I'm aware.
They had a strat interact with it.
I went and reread it. I'm like, okay, this does have rules, but like, come on, give it actual rules. Try again.
The time of the Repentance is over. The age of the Halberd Sister Squad has come.
Oh my god, we're
gonna find out.
Those are beautiful models. I am incredibly stoked for this Sisters release.
Just finished some Locust Heavy Destroyers. Absolutely love the big chunkus. I wish they had better rules.
They're big and they're chunky.
They are chunky.
What else can you ask for? It's all about the chunk. I don't care about the rules. Purely measure how chunky an army is. Should have brought Knights to this RTT. Nothing could have gone wrong there.
Nothing could have gone wrong.
Pair into Poxwalkers or pair into Dark Eldar.
Oh, the 100 Poxwalkers, that would have been brutal.
The Knights could kill that.
But how quickly?
That's the question.
Before they obsec all the objectives.
That is the question. You're asking the right questions. I'll give you credit.
It's because the Armigers don't do anything.
They do not contribute, no. No, they do not. Oh man, everything is washed.
I got a $5 super chat from Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks so much, Bill. John, I'm taking double D McCarrans with 70 little gaunts to the Atlantic City Open. Learning to play the list now, do you often charge both turn 1 and how?
Often is definitely not. I definitely don't often charge turn 1. What I usually do is I'll find one a good hiding spot turn 1 and the other one will charge turn 1. Unless I have a good hiding spot for 2. But if I charge both turn 1, it's with High Fleet Kraken, and this usually only happens on Dawn of War. But if you double the advance roll for one of them, so it moves 12, let's say you roll like a 5 or a 6, spend a command point to double it, it then moves 22 or 24 inches. Then you tell that guy with the Psych Power Onslaught to advance and charge. So he goes 22 to 24 inches. Then the other one just moves, doesn't advance. Moves 12, Swarm tells it to move again, moves 12. So one moves 24, one moves about 22-ish inches on average. You sometimes get 20, sometimes you get 24. And then they can both declare charges as normal. So on Dawn of War or on Search and Destroy, the table quarters one. Direct Assault. On either of those missions, it's actually very achievable to charge both turn 1.
But still not your go-to.
It's definitely not my go-to plan, but there have been situations like at the last tournament I went to, I went first on Dawn of War against a guard army with a Castellan Knight, and I really needed to kill that Castellan turn 1.
Before it starts
so
picking up Demon Karens.
One of the Demon Karens went straight into it, And then the guy kind of put a bunch of guardsmen on the line. So I just ran a Demon Carrot forward and ate a couple of them, got my Feel No Pain up just because I figured just completely overload him with threats and keep him in his own deployment zone. And that worked out very well for me.
Thanks so much for that super chat, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Hey guys, Richard worried at all that the new Admech Codex will hurt your list with the expected changes? I haven't seen anything that hurts it. It could totally change.
Yeah.
But honestly, I expect Metallica to still be, good. Maybe there will be other Forge World variants, and I hope there are, honestly.
I'd like every Forge World to be viable,
yeah.
or several of them at a minimum.
Yeah, I'd like there to be at least 3-4 different major build archetypes that could work with Admech. So hopefully that's the case. For what units I'm currently running, like the Lascan Iron Striders just get better, Corpus Gari get better. I'm all about it.
Yeah, frankly, none of the
I haven't seen any
changes
nerfs.
look bad.
It looks like a lot of the weapon profiles are just being buffed, and I expect the points to probably remain pretty similar like the Drukari one did.
Exactly.
So.
And frankly, none of the 9th edition books so far have made an army worse. Like, I'm not anticipating that at all.
Blood Angels.
Did it make them worse?
Yes. Everything they did well got nerfed.
Okay.
If they just kept like 2 of the 5 things they did super well, even just the strat for the redeploy, if it was still the same turn you come in, that would have been a big help. Strat. But no, they lost everything good.
They lost everything.
And they didn't get anything better.
I don't even know who you are.
None of their unique stuff is good enough.
Poor Blood Angels.
Yeah. Like, got better from the Codex.
Yeah.
So, I think they're the only one that... well, Space Wolves too, I'd say. Frankly.
I don't think they got worse.
At least they did Hero Hammers super well, and they still do Hero Hammer. But now that's not even their thing.
Yeah. Well, but like, Ragnar no longer makes 20 hits. But I guess a Succubus makes 40.
I'm talking about Drukari now. Like, they do Hero
Hammer. Compared to Drukari, no one does Hero Hammer, period.
Yeah.
We were playing a game last night, and Richard was like, man, you've killed a lot of stuff. And then 3 characters charged me and picked up 3 units. I was like, yeah. It's like, let me just Overwatch. Oh, I can't? Oh, that's a pity.
That's great. How many Ghost Arcs do you recommend? Include the Silent King or go another route with the HQs? I think the best version probably won't have the Silent King because you're not buffing enough stuff with him. But if you want to run him, I'd probably be looking at like 3 Ghost Arcs with 10 warriors inside each of them.
And the Silent King is still pretty good.
Yeah, he's still a long-range threat. He's got Fight Last Aura. He helps you get a ton of command points. So you can use strats all the time, like the strat for Quantum Shielding. So all that's good. Spice's Phantasm Grenade Launchers. I have 13 65-point investment that can down Custodes, Death Guard, and Deathwing. -3 leadership puts a lot of them down to leadership 5.
Must be using the Dark Creed. You can definitely get a lot of mortal wounds going with the Phantasm Grenade Launchers. I don't take that many. I actually only take... I have exactly 1 in my Drukari list. And
1, John?
I have 1 Phantasm Grenade Launcher.
That is...
I mean, it's there for a reason, but it's...
it's only 1.
Only 1.
13, that's a number.
13 is big boy time. I am merely doing 1. I think Drukari just has so many different ways that they can approach the game. It's really hard to boil down to what to take right now. Because, like, honestly, I don't go heavy at all into Phantasm Grenade Launchers or Mortal Wound Spam in general, but, like, it looks perfectly good. Like, I think my list is a little bit too good right now, and there's, like, so many other things that also look a little bit too good. I'm like, wow, Drukari, you got choices here. So it's hard to boil it all down to 1.
Which is good.
You do want to have a lot of choices, and I think also that because Dark Eldar have so many like different options, I think this is an army that will be very good for a long time. Like almost every army when it gets released, it wins a lot. People complain about it, and then it calms down. Maybe 1 or 2 FAQs come in, but nothing crazy is needed usually. I could see Drukari being very, very good even after they get their day 1 FAQ. Like maybe the Razor Flail Succubus gets toned down. I don't think anyone's going to really complain if they clarify that that's not what they wanted. At least I wouldn't complain. Siegler, how do you feel?
I wouldn't complain either.
Wouldn't complain, okay. You would like to have Guilliman back?
I would like to have Guilliman.
I would like Guilliman to be alive, in general, so I'm okay with that too.
He's gone, John. He's gone.
He is. He got killed so hard he got cut from my list. It's a very sad day for the Imperium.
Yeah. Thoughts on the Palatine at 45 points?
Good choice.
Yeah, super cheap.
Yep.
Just
5 less than a
stuff is
canonist
just
lieutenant.
cheaper.
Yeah, I like her. I think I would. I think I'd try to include her in most of my lists. I mean, you got to give her a plasma pistol though.
Does she have to pay the 5 points?
She doesn't have to, but I choose to.
Okay.
I will pay 5 points for that plasma pistol.
They give her that in a bolt pistol.
Yeah, they So the way they wrote the data sheet and the way they wrote the points don't actually make sense. She's equipped with a plasma pistol and a bolt, what is it? She's equipped with a plasma pistol and a bolt pistol, and she can replace a bolt pistol with a Rosarius. And
So she has to take the plasma pistol.
So she has to take the plasma pistol, and in her data sheet, she's 45 points plus 5 for a plasma pistol.
So she's really 50 points.
She's really 50. And I'm very confident that, because when you look at the way the kit is modeled, she is holding a Rosarius in one hand, and there's nothing else to put in that hand. And she has a bolt pistol hand, or she replaces that with a plasma pistol. And I'm pretty sure she's supposed to come with a Rosarius and a bolt pistol, and replace the bolt pistol with the plasma pistol for 5 points. And that would make a lot of sense, but that's not what they printed. And it's interesting. That's all. It's just interesting.
Eventually we'll get there with the Palatine.
Maybe the Codex will have the right data sheet.
Yeah.
Because GW hasn't announced it, but I think we all are just kind of assuming, right?
Yeah. With
Like
this many
5
models.
plastic kits.
You're not going to wait another year for
No.
release all this stuff.
No, this is.
And they
this
haven't
is
told
coming
us
soon.
about any campaigns.
Exactly. Yeah, if they had announced a campaign, I would think okay, maybe, but they haven't even announced a campaign. So at this point, I'm leaning Codex.
What do you think Games Workshop will give Custodes in their Codex? Make them more tanky, like Dark Angels, or give them more firepower?
More jank. More jank and better stats. That's my prediction. Like, Guardian Spear goes to 2 damage.
Yeah, just more consistency. Trajan
Yeah.
gets flat 3 damage.
Trajan
Better
gets
get
flat 6
4
damage.
Like, come on.
Flat 6.
Come on.
Flat
Come
6.
on.
His axe is taller than him. Flat 6. Womp.
How is that D3? That is one of the most heinous things in this game right
No,
now.
it's pretty offensive, yeah.
D3 damage.
No, I don't have an excuse. It should be 3. Like,
He could do as much as a Galadus Dread or as much as a Tau Commander punching you.
no. No.
It's one or the other, John.
No. It's going to kill everything. It's going to kill all the Poxwalks by himself.
Yeah, I think what they need is just... I would like a change to the Sisters of Silence to help them. If you bring a Custodes troop, you get a sister slot in the troops.
Exactly. Put it
Something like that.
worded exactly the same as the Death Guard. And I think that was a really cool mechanic. I understand why Dark Eldar didn't receive it because that's not an army that needs it. But Custodes feel like an army that needs it, where Sisters of Silence are a troop, but you can't take more Sisters of Silence squad than you have core Custodes units.
Yep.
Done. Because I get it. If you just have a detachment that's like 3 shield captains and a Sisters of Silence squad, like, okay. I get it.
It's the old Bloody
That's
Angels
stupid.
detachment.
Yeah,
2
yeah,
Smash
yeah.
Captains, 15
Honestly,
Scouts.
I think they should move Scouts back to troops and give them a similar role. That way you can just make it for a troop. So you can't have 3 Scouts, but you could have 2 Intercessors and a Scout squad. That would be fine.
Yeah.
Right? As long as you're bringing the troops, I think Scouts should go back to troops. But I only say that because I have 30 of them.
Any thoughts or list ideas for the Bellicor model coming out?
Thoughts are that the random rules that they previewed without context look really good. If they're going to preview something, that's not a bad thing to preview.
Yep, it's not like when you saw Luminar Xeris and he has a
Yeah, it's
9-inch aura of...
your perils on doubles. And
Yeah,
it's okay.
unnecessary.
I will wait to see what else he has. That's not it. And there was more, but the more wasn't enough.
No. But Bellicor, he's got good rules straight up.
Good rules straight up, so if they end up being yeah, he's 10 wounds, then I'm not going to care. If he's either 9 or 16, or he has a max per phase or something along those lines, okay. I can fully get behind that. So, looks promising. Be optimistic. Pre-order Bellicor with your local gaming store. And I cannot wait We have.
We're
Cannot wait to find out how many points he is.
Yeah.
And
It'll
what
be
he
a deciding
does.
thing. I feel like he's going to be around that Silent King Mortarian.
I think so. I think they're going to really reinvent him and make him an actual... I think as a Supreme Commander, it's perfect for him.
Yeah.
So I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, it certainly shouldn't be Fate Weaver.
No, who? I forgot that guy's even in the Codex. Does he even have a model? Like,
No, he was banished back to the Shadow Realm by
by
Farsight.
Farsight? Oh, yeah, he's still in the Shadow Realm.
He's stuck there. Just watched the Knights vs. Drukari stream game. Do you think the Pure Knights list would have fared better?
Honestly, yeah. Screw it. Give me an extra give me an extra dude.
Extra Majera?
Extra Majera. I just think that the Adamec did not contribute whatsoever to that game. However, that wasn't the most optimal Admech detachment for some reason.
Or Knight detachment. Because House Raven...
No,
not
House Raven did not contribute there.
What are the Necron transports, Popper, as that is apparently necessary to fight Dark Eldar? I think you have to go with Tesseract Arcs.
Tesseract Vaults, you mean? 2 of them.
Not the Vault.
2 Tesseract Vaults.
Not the Vault. No, the Tesseract Arc.
Vaults.
You could go with the Doomsday Arc. They're similar enough, but I'd rather just the extra golf shots from the Arc. But you are stuck with D6 shots and D6 damage, and that is just not a place to be. The Necron shooting just doesn't grow. So that's the biggest section that should get points decreases when Games Workshop decide to do another chapter approved. But for now, I think you have to just suck it up and do the vaults.
The single
Arcs.
biggest thing that requires a points decrease is Genestealer characters. I get it, Necron shooting could use some love. But I'm sorry, Genestealer characters.
I would rather run the Biophages.
Would you rather have a Primus or save 10 points and have a Succubus?
I would have the Patriarch.
The Patriarch's pretty good.
The Patriarch is good.
The Patriarch doesn't need a points drop. I wouldn't mind 10 points, like making the same cost as a Broodlord, because why does he cost more than a Broodlord?
Isn't he better than a Broodlord?
In some ways, yes, but also in some ways, no.
What ways is he worse?
Costs more, doesn't get traits.
Oh, he doesn't get traits either?
No.
The Patriarch?
The Patriarch.
The Patriarch. The leader of the faction doesn't get the traits.
Doesn't get traits.
Never change Games Workshop. Never change.
Like, he gets better Warlord traits and Relic access than a Broodlord does.
Yeah.
Mostly because he's the best thing that can take them. All the good relics that you put on a Broodlord, you just put on Hive Tower instead. But he is the biggest character in there, so he gets some beef there. But nope, he does not get traits.
What are the best squad sizes for Blade Guard veterans and melee Space Marines? MSU for board presence, 5 for the transhuman value, or 6 for combat squads?
I like 6 and 4. I don't like 3 inherently, because if I'm going to do 3, I want to do 6 in combat squad, so I have 2 3-mans. But I do like 4, because 4 is actually... 3 is just a little bit... Like, 3 as a combat squad works, but like if I'm taking something, 5 is too much, I think, for the investment. I think I actually like... I liked 4 a lot in some of my old White Scar lists. Just the points always worked out with 4 of them. It wasn't too expensive, but it was still scary and like a 3-man unit. If it's just 1 3-man, they kill 1 Blade Guard and only their character protect, so I liked having 4. But then a 6-man combat squad is also very valid.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is the best combat drug for Hellions, or the random roll?
Honestly, you know what? In the latest episode of the Art of War podcast, which we Nick and I talked about with Skari, he actually made a very good case for rolling combat drugs. I'm not even going to lie. So you should definitely check that one out. Part 1 and Part 2 should be up now. But I think for Hellions, I would choose the +1. Their Strength 4 base. Going to Strength 5 is so good, but also +1 attack is so good. I think I would actually take the +1 attack here. Hellions are not a bad unit to roll on, though. Like,
yeah.
Honestly,
they can do with most of them.
Yeah, because like the worst one is +1 ballistic skill, but like you know what? They do have a gun.
Yeah.
And it's like when you advance, you hit on 3s with that. Yeah. Otherwise, you hit on 2s.
And you get another one.
Yeah, and you get another one. So like you get, +1 weapon skill is probably the worst because you hit on 2s pretty fast anyway. But
there's minuses to hit
like
on.
if the worst thing that happens is your weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 2, like and +1 leadership, like okay. Otherwise, you get +1 toughness, good. +1 attack, great. +1 strength, great. +2 move, also great. Like,
yeah.
Like the worst case scenarios are always hit on 2s.
Yeah.
Like okay, like I can do worse than that.
We got a $5 super chat from Matt. Oh, thank you so much, Matt. Any cool nicknames for the new sisters yet? Beside the Nun Guard?
I do like calling the tank Cassie. I haven't seen a new nickname for the totally not Blade Guard. But you know what? I will scour the Discords and light a signal flame, and we will see if we can get you a good nickname.
I can't wait till they're like 20 points a model. All the sister stuff is
I don't
so
care.
undercosted. It's ridiculous.
They're pretty good, yeah. I mean...
It's all super aggressively costed compared to likewise units. Yeah, it's like, there's no doubt.
It's a strong argument against that. I mean, you don't need Miracle Ice, though.
You don't need Miracle Dice.
Thank
you so much, Matt. Now, you were also one of our top super chatters from last month, so please do let us know what you want to match up. The other Matt told us Valhallan Guard versus the GSC.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you're thinking for your matchup.
Dun, dun, dun.
And who you want to play it.
And who you want to play it. Doesn't have to be us on our traditional armies. You know, you could always ask for John playing White Scars, but you know what? You could ask for Richard or Nick on White Scars. You can ask for whatever you want.
Nick does love yellow White Scars.
We will work with you. Whatever you think would be fun.
I see that almost all the DA lists do not use the assured objective of motorcycles. Is a bike's MSU viable, or does it lose punch by investing so many points in units that do not kill things?
It's viable, but I think that it's less reliable than the Terminator build. I do like the bikes. I actually bought 6 of them that I haven't gotten around to building and painting because, well, frankly, there's just so much to build and paint in this house. But they're definitely on the list of things to try. My gut is that I would rather have the kill power for the points. Because they're not bad at killing, but they're not great at it. Yeah. So that's my gut. But I could definitely see a world where they were in a good list. If you want to go heavier on the Raven Wing.
John, have you looked at any of the Freeblade stuff from the Book of Rust?
As a matter of fact, I have. OBSEC 6-inch Heroic Intervention Knights are wonderfully appealing. I'm leaning Housecrast for the purpose of I really like rerolls. And I like the kill power of Knights, and frankly, that's why I play Knights, is to kill things, not for all the tricks, even though they do have some tricks. I think Freeblades is pretty good. I like the Freeblade stuff much better than the House Raven stuff. So I have considered it, but I haven't put it on the table yet. That should be a sub-match, Freeblade Knights.
Tips for Space Marines versus AdMech. Scared of bombers and indirect fire. How much of my army should I put in reserves or deep strike?
Ooh. What's your advice with these AdMech flyers?
I think that if you put too much in reserve, an army like mine could just screen them out so you can't come in. So if you put a little too much, because you got the Cerberus Raiders moving up there, you've got a Corpus Gari and Vanguard coming in from reserve, and you have the bombers themselves, that they could potentially just screen out your army.
That's pretty dangerous right there.
Especially if it's
fan of
from strategic reserve, not from strategic reserve. So if it's native deep strike, yes, you have more options overall on the board, but you can actually get stuck in reserve.
Yeah. Do you have an orange base paint over there?
Base paint? I have this one, which is not a base paint.
I'll just grab a red base real quick, and I'll use that in a minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna paint the Warblade. Like this wash is almost dry. There's like 2 spots that are just a little shiny. And when it comes to washes, do not dry brush sooner than you need to.
Yes.
It just ruins everything. So I try to be patient.
Been there and done that.
Yeah, been there, done that. Done this multiple times. Failed to learn my lesson multiple times. I'm trying to be better, kids.
What is John's current Drukari list?
My Drukari list is actually very similar to Nick's ideas. I really like his Slith Urgle party. However, I really prefer having a Cablite Trueborn unit with blasters and Dark Lance. I actually really like that shooting value that it gives. But I do still have the 2 units of Slith. I've got the 15 Incubi. I've got the 20 Witches, the Mandrakes. Unfortunately, I had to concede to Nick on the 2 Archon point. I think that's actually correct because the Slith Urgle parties are just that much fun. But you know what? I'm still considering a 1 Slith Urgle party list and like what that would look like if I was able to drop that Archon. Because you can get a lot of stuff in for that points. It must be said.
What is your guys' thoughts on 5-man spawn units in Death Guard with Disgusting Resilient, T6, 4 wounds, 23 points a model? 3 5-man seems to put fear in the enemy because of the points to toughness ratio.
The problem is that you have to spend command points to buy the Disgusting Resilience, which is not like the worst, but I just feel like it's so easy with multiple attachments for Death Guard to kind of start really low on command points. And I get it, the Tallyman literally just gives you +5, but you've got such good strats that I don't like relying on that. Spawn are definitely not bad, but lack of Feel No Pain means the -1 damage doesn't feel as good. Because, it just takes 2 3 damage wounds to kill it. 1 damage no longer feels bad when they don't have a Feel No Pain. It just feels a little bit less useful. I like having the smaller units personally, just to have things to spread contagions and like screen. But I don't like the big investy units as much. Just like 1 or 2 man, honestly. That's me though.
How does a relic pistol have to be in order for you to take it? How good does it have to be?
You know what? We are continuing to wait to find out.
Petrov's pistol.
Well, Petrov's pistol is good, but not because of the pistol. Honestly, I think the best relic relic pistol is the Oppressor's Bane from Genestealer Cult, which is a 3-shot strength 4 AP 2 damage 2 pistol that rerolls wounds against characters. And the reason it's so good is that it has the Kellermorph rule, if the Kellermorph is holding it, of course, so anyone can hold it, but let's be real, only the Kellermorph does, where it, every time you roll a hit, you roll and make an additional attack. And that's actually good enough to take. Any other pistol just doesn't feel the same.
Most of them are pretty
trash. I want the Relic Plasma pistols to be good.
And they continued that with the Book of Rust with the Admech getting the Gamma pistol.
I thought it was a Delta pistol.
Oh, the Delta. It's an upgrade to the Gamma pistol.
Absolutely.
The Delta pistol.
Mm-hmm. I love that. It's like, Delta pistol? Why is Delta? Delta's for change. I'm changing you into a corpse. Bang! It's like, what? I don't know why it's a Delta pistol, though. Like, I thought the Gamma pistol, like, shot gamma rays or something.
Yeah, it does.
What does the Delta pistol shoot?
Delta.
Delta rays? Like, what? Perhaps I didn't get to a high enough level of physics to understand what a delta ray is. Yeah. Clearly.
Nick got to that level of science.
Yeah, you need to hit the 3rd year of engineering to know what delta rays are, and 2 was enough for me.
Thanks for all the great content. When do you think the Tau Codex is coming? Who knows? I would hope sooner.
It's before the 3rd Space Marine Codex. I'm not willing to promise anything else.
Would love for it to be soon, but no indication at all that Tower coming. We know Admech, Sisters almost certainly.
I'm willing to bet it's before the Tyranid Codex.
Probably before Tyranids, yeah. Tyranids have to be last.
Tyranids they've got to be last, right? There's been literally no indication of Tyranids. Like you saw how desperate I was.
Well, to be fair, Tower aren't in any of these campaign books either. They still haven't been in the campaign book.
Oh god, you know what? There's always time for a new campaign book. Just Tyranids versus Tau.
Tyranids and Tau. They get all the rules. All their sub-factions fleshed out.
It's like we were too lazy to write you out the book. We weren't writing lore. Here's just a White Dwarf supplement. Thanks, GW. That's what I want. I don't even need the lore. Like, I like reading the lore, but like it's fine. We know what you care about.
Tau at least got upgraded Shadow Sun. Upgraded in quotes. Because she really wasn't.
Yeah, Tyranids are still. I think we're approaching 6 years without a new model, which is the longest in the game.
I hope Krook get a whole model range before Tyranids.
I mean, I'm not even joking. I don't think that Death Watch were a playable faction the last time Tyranids got a new model. That's depressing. Honestly, I don't even know if Harlequins were a playable faction the last time we got it. I think they were just like a 1 unit.
If you guys wanted to make Bolter Inceptors as an attractive choice as Plasma, how would you do it?
Ooh. I think you increase the range. Like I would honestly go 30. Because they're strength 5, AP 1, either 18 or 24 inches, damage 1. So 3 shots each, so 6 shots. Like, I want to say an extra shot. 8 shots is really good. Honestly, I think they just need a little extra range, or make them strength 6, maybe. I don't want to say damage 2 because that's heavy bolters things, and these are assault bolters, and I don't want them to just be, I have 2 heavy bolters, you know.
But they're an assault.
Although, frankly, it would still just be a worse mortifier if it had 2 heavy bolters. I would say buff the range to like 30. Because I think they're 18.
Yeah.
I'm considering 4 shots, though.
Just be able to use it safely from a distance?
Yeah.
Because right now you just have to commit.
Inceptors have to commit so hard, and it's just not where they want to be. So it's a little risky. And Space Marines no longer get to bully with them because other armies are getting into that bully category. Yeah. That was the thing, was like anytime I committed my Inceptors, danger range, I just put everything else there too, and it's like, all right, fine. Like, like I don't really want to do that anymore. I don't want to just put my entire army in front of the Dark Elder army just so that my Plasma Scepters can kill a Raider. It's like, surprise! I just traded 700 points of Space Marines carrying Storm Shields for a Raider. Oh no.
Monocult of Strife with Lilith versus Tyranids in the arena.
That's
the request?
the request? Mono Cult of Strife with Lilith versus Tyranids in the arena.
In the arena. So Nick
All
has
right.
to take the Slay the Beast secondary.
Who is playing?
Okay.
Who is playing each of these armies?
John, you're playing the Tyranids. Get out of here.
I'm asking.
John really wants this Drukari.
You know what? I can hunt some beasts.
Come on, isn't it so satisfying when Nick fails to bring down the beasts?
It is. It will be satisfying. Just let us know who you want to play those armies, and we will make that happen. Tyranids versus Drukari. I'm all about this, and we will put some monsters on this table. This will be a monster hunt.
Old One Eye.
Old One
He's
Eye.
back. Is the Whirlwind viable at all?
Viable, yes. Fight Last access makes it definitely something to consider. For me, it's something that whenever I put it in a list, I end up cutting it towards the end of the list because I want something else more. But it's definitely not bad. I honestly think, like, if it was either a little bit cheaper or its gun was just a little bit better. The problem is that for an indirect fire tank, indirect fire is its second role. Literally, it's a Fight Last and, like...
It's a strat machine.
It's a strat machine. And I just want its... I want its actual shooting to be a little bit better. Frankly, I just think its guns need... I just think it needs more shots. Like, its 2D3 version, I think, should be, like, 2D6.
They were just nervous after the...
I get it.
Edition.
I totally understand why they didn't go aggressive on Space Marine indirect fire. I'm not mad about that. But... I'm not mad, I just don't take the Whirlwind. Like... It's just like, okay, like, it's fine. You didn't want me to take the Whirlwind, I will not, and we'll just move on with our lives. And that strat is not enough to incentivize me the other way. It's close. It's a good strat. It's a very good stratagem for what it is. It's just, it's not enough to justify the Whirlwind by itself.
Dealer's choice on the players.
Dealer's choice. All right, so Richard, you were in the room. You remember him saying Nick on the Tyranids, me on the Dark Elder, right? That's what I read. Richard, that's what you saw? All right, dealer's choice. Let's go.
I think it's a better game if
I need you to back...
Tyranids.
No, I need you to back me up.
I think you will do the Tyranids justice.
All right, well, I'll take on the Tyranids here. No problem.
But Nick has to take that secondary.
100%. I mean, he's going to.
He has to.
He has to take that.
He has to take the secondary.
And he has to take Lilith. This is very important. Lilith's actually really good.
Do we have the new
We do. We have the new Lilith. I mean, I have a new Palatine, so Nick has a Lilith somewhere. If you lost her already, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah. We might have it in our paint studio, but I think it should be here.
Yeah, I mean, we can... She'll probably be in, like, the second or third wave we get there. But
I also have a metal Lilith that has no arms somewhere.
I would like that.
I have to find it, but
Okay.
I will give it to you.
Thank you.
Do you think Chaos Marines will lose Death of the False Emperor like Death Guard did?
Yes, I do. And you know what? I'm
Thank
so
good
ready
riddance.
for that. You know what I'm ready for? When you lose every single Chaos Anti-Imperium tool, and, like, Guard are still just sitting there with Vengeance for Cadia. Like, you know what? I still got this until I get a new book.
Vengeance.
I'm feeling vengeful today.
We're going to get to see some Vengeance for Cadia tomorrow.
I am using that stratagem 5 times at a minimum. Possibly more. I have plans. Plans for these.
Does that
these
strat
death
work
guard-
in combat?
It does not.
Okay.
I would actually consider Catachan if it did. Honestly, Witch Cult makes me consider Catachan, but, like, consider is like, alright, this still isn't going to work. I'll just give up.
Consider.
Consider, yeah. We got to the consider point. That's enough.
Yeah, I do not want to see Death of the False Emperor anymore.
No,
Which is
it's...
a silly rule.
If
All this stuff with 1,000,000 attacks, let's just calm down.
Yeah.
No single model needs to generate, 12 attacks. These demon princes floating around.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, though, like, a Death to the False Emperor Terminator squad is almost as many attacks as one Succubus.
Well, we saw Mark's 3 Terminators with Death to the False Emperor on 4-ups almost kill a Scorpius tank.
Yeah, when he like didn't put the whole unit in, I was like, oh, I guess it's gonna live, and then it was like, well, nope.
Yeah, I was like, I should have saved a CP to turn off rerolls here.
Yeah, that was brutal. Like, holy crap! You didn't even vets. Like,
Yeah, didn't
if
even
you had
vets.
vets, I think he actually might have killed you.
I was not expecting that.
Mm-hmm. It's the Death of the False Emperor.
Chaos lose every anti-Imperium strat, yet the Imperium book keeps all theirs.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm asking
That's
for.
how Games
Yes.
Workshop operates.
That's much more cinematic, don't you? Don't you agree, Chaos players?
Come on,
Forge a narrative, guys.
I need AdMech to get some good anti-chaos stuff.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you not already have that?
It's called my whole faction, but still.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, hold on. Let me just look at.
Every time you do a chaos, every time there's like a chaos clinic or podcast episode, it's like, what's one of those bad matchups? AdMech. They can just shoot your big monsters off the table.
And also bomb you. And also
bomb
scream.
Seismic Bomb is so good. What a strat.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff in that book.
Honor the Prince? No. Not today.
Like the whole time you guys were looking at that, I'm like, this isn't gonna work.
I wasn't sure what Mark
Like, I feel like I should tell them.
Hey guys, are Windrunners any good? I want to run an Eldar bike list. Wanted to see what the best way to run them is. Thanks for the help.
I actually think that they're quite decent. They're very cheap. I like having just 3 units of 3.
Cheap speed.
Very cheap, good fast screens, decent firepower. They're just solid units to have.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad. Are you really stacking? Are you running 9-mans to stack damage on? I don't think
I
so.
think they're too fragile for that.
Yeah.
You don't want to put your defensive buffs on them.
I think, but small units running around get you engage points, get angles to finish a little troop unit off.
Contest objectives.
I think they actually do that very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a squad of 5 wardens. Should I hold out for the Codex or convert them to more beautiful Sagittarium guard?
Sagittarium.
Wardens are probably the worst Custodes unit.
No, it's a Land Raider.
No, I don't consider that a Custodes unit.
Okay, well that's reasonable, but that's...
That's not a Custodes. That's just a terrible unit that nobody takes.
Yep. The Venerable Land Raider, Richard.
It's Venerable. Also the Venerable Contemptor. They were just shoved in there because Custodes had so few units.
Yeah, it's because they had a box set and they were like, we only have 2 kits.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Here's some...
put a Land Raider in. Sure. And now it's in the Codex forever. Great.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Like, if they made like a Forge World Land Raider, like with different gun options, like gave it like Arachnus Blaze cannons, and like decent stratagem support.
Made it cost a reasonable amount for a unit without an invuln.
Honestly, what hurts the most is that the Land Raider has an amazing stratagem, and it requires 2 Land Raiders to use it.
What does it have?
It's like +1 hit, +1 wound ignore cover for 1 CP. But you can only do that if you're a Land Raider within 6 inches of another Land Raider. I'm like, dang it!
You spend 1 CP after you have 500 points of models next to each other.
And then they both get like it's either pluses or rerolls, and like it's a good shooting buff. I remember that. I just remember like I'm never gonna take 2 Land Raiders, and I just moved on with my life. Although I would argue that the Custodes Land Raider is probably the best Land Raider. It's not as good as the Forge World one still, but like it's better than a normal Spaceman Land Raider.
It has a 6 of Feel No Pain.
And it gets rerolls from Trajan. Because they haven't gotten the core treatment yet.
Wow.
Look, it's the little things here, okay? We're grasping. No way around it.
But to answer your question, Sagittarium Guard are definitely better than Wardens right now. Wardens need help, but who knows when Custodes are going to get
rolls. There's been no indication on Custodes getting new rolls, which I'm sure they will. It's just
it's the question of when. But if you're going to try and go to events right now and you want to run Sagittarium, I'd convert them.
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely right now, that is a better use of the kit. And you know what? Worst case scenario, you buy 5 more Wardens. And,
it's not horrible.
Yeah, it's just 1 box.
AdMech doesn't need anti-chaos. We need Dark Mechanicus? Absolutely not.
No, I would actually play that.
Dark Mechanicus, filth.
What? The true Mechanicus, you mean? Mm-mm. I like how in all of the fluff, like in all like the Black Library novels, they never call them Dark Mechanicus. The Chaos guys are just like, yeah, the true Mechanicus showed up. Like, what? Yeah, the true Mechanicus. It's like, I know they're not from Mars, but it's the real Mechanicus to me. It's like they didn't even like, everyone else is like, yeah, we changed our names to the Scourge of the Imperium. What about those guys? Just the true Mechanicus.
True Mechanicus.
Okay. Like, not even remotely edgy until you actually start reading about them, and then it's like, oh, this got edgy. Just such an innocent sounding name.
We definitely need crude. a whole Kroot line before we get any Dark Mechanicum.
No.
That's gotta happen.
I mean, we already have Negavolt cultists.
Negavolt. And wasn't there a Forge World Dark Mechanicus?
There was. He doesn't exist anymore. So they're just like, yeah, we're done with this. You got Legends.
The Tyranids need anti-Milky Way army abilities.
Honestly, Tyranids need a lot. Vengeance for the other galaxy. Dang it.
They need to slap whoever came up with the plastic contemptor.
Yeah, that thing
awful.
is rough.
It's compared to the Forge World versions. Why does it exist? And it's just
Again, it was in a starter box.
Yeah, but the legs, John.
I'm aware of the problem. I promise you, I am aware of the problem.
How much can a Land Raider cost for its current rules to see play?
220. No,
it has to be
that's
cheaper
lower
than
than
that.
that. It has to be under 2. I mean, the thing is, like, it's 8 T8, 2-up save, 14 wounds.
But no invul.
No invul.
And anti-tank weapons are getting crazy.
Anti-tank weapons are getting crazy.
I think it...
What if they, like, stealth moved the Land Raider to 200 points and none of us noticed? Because I haven't looked, if I'm being honest with you.
No, because it still has to pay for its guns.
I don't think it does anymore.
I feel like 190.
190 for Land Raider?
190.
Yeah, the problem is what manlet units am I taking?
No, I was talking Custodes, because then you could use the -1 strength on it.
Yeah. I would 190. I would take it. I think.
Yeah, I think 190. I would take it in Custodes. Because it has to be. I think it has to be cheaper than the Caladius tank. Because Caladius has the fly, the invuln, all the extra rules.
It does have
good guns.
Good guns. Yeah.
I think it has to be cheaper than that.
Oh god, Caladius is 14 wounds too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man, what Caladius. You know, I'm gonna check how much a Custodes Land Raider is.
It's probably like 240.
I bet it's like 260.
You think it's that expensive? I thought it finally went down a little bit. I think it keeps getting stealth buffed.
I feel like
but never enough.
I feel like they forgot it existed, if I'm being honest with you. Like, Raveners were getting stealth buffs. Those are 20 points now. But, don't know about this Custodes. We're gonna check. I would like to know.
So Drukari are now the one true unbeatable army that can never lose an Art of War. Will anything be able to take them down?
Yes. Dark Angels, 100% of the time.
That's happening on Thursday. Tune into that, Nick. Nick just came back. Got to hear that.
Jesus Christ.
How much?
300.
No.
Clean 300.
Are you kidding me? That's his base cost?
That's a clean 300.
Without the Hunter Killer missiles and the Storm Bolters?
Oh, the Storm Bolter's only 3 though, not 5. That's good value right there.
God.
The Storm Bolter's
300 base?
That's a clean 300 points.
Okay, but how much is the Space Marine one? Because the extra 50 points must be the 6 of Field of Paint, right? How much is the Space Marine rate?
I bet it's like 270 or something. Like, it still isn't going to be cheap.
How is it this expensive? Why do they... Well, I guess they just don't want people to buy Land Raiders. It's done.
Well, it worked. 285?
I feel like it went down and then they brought it back up with this.
I think it went down in like the end of it. Remember that last FAQ of 8th edition?
Yeah.
Where they're like, we're going to make a ton of units
just
lot cheaper. And then they're like, surprise!
9th edition.
Dude, 5-point gargoyles really had me hoping. Really did. Like, 5-point gargoyles, I was like, you know what? I'm going to finish painting my gargoyles. And I did. And we have 30 of them now. Yeah. And then they're like, surprise, up to 7. I'm like, dang it. So close. Yeah, now, you know, drop a Custodes Land Raider down to 240 and I will think about it. I'm not promising it makes the final list. I mean, it's tough, though.
It's not that tough.
It's
Think
not
of the
that
meta that we're
tough.
playing in, John.
But it's like a little tough.
It's just not.
It's not that tough.
I think it has to be around the 200 point, like that low.
215?
I seriously think like 2 or just below.
215, I would take it.
I think it has to be around the Exorcist price.
Oh man, it's really not that much better than an Exorcist,
right? It has to be around there.
Jesus.
Oh. It needs a good 100-point drop.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Custodes, why do you do this? Why?
Okay, what are the dual-wielding snake men supposed to be? Those are sliths. Nick's favorite model in the entire game. He's a big fan of snakes. If you ever see him at an event, make sure you bring some snake stuff. If you
have a pet snake, bring it to the Atlantic City Open. Just walk around the convention with a snake. And a face mask. You know, we're still being sanitary, but also a snake. I will talk to the TO. We will pair you into Necron 1. You get to have a nice hand snake before the game. It'll be great. Nick loves snakes.
I feel like Tau should win against Drukari.
You know
Tau
what?
have a chance. I think my build with the extra Remores is pretty annoying to deal with. Can't charge. Drukari don't have a lot of fly units that are charging, and so if you have the grab drone tucked between some Remores, they're just not getting enough distance, even advance and charge around it. So it gets around them ignoring Overwatch on one of the witch units, and that's you just focus down. Whatever raiders have the witch stuff, just kill that stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, you got to kill that first. Drukari are definitely rough, though. They're very strong. No argument about it.
I think if for Tau to do it, you really need the Remores. But still, it's going to be an uphill battle because all their stuff's undercosted and all the Tau stuff's overcosted. So
it's a deadly combination.
Not easy, but
Tau can actually at least Tau have a lot of stuff.
They have a lot of nonsense,
and I think you do need a lot of nonsense to play.
Drukari don't have crazy volume of fire.
Yep. The volume of attacks, but that's close combat. And
yeah,
Richard has mentioned the best plan against that, which I agree with.
Yeah. Dark Talons are still tempting, but 200 points.
210 points is I've got 3 that I haven't finished painting yet. The price tag definitely is a deterrent. So it is a really good plane. Like I understand why they went with 210 points. Because you don't want a Dark Talon to be so cheap that you just spam 3 of them in every list. That's not the point. But I feel like they're just a little bit too much. It's close though. I think just 200 would be fine. I don't think they need to be much cheaper.
Yeah.
Non-core units are just so hard to justify right now because they're just so swingy. Honestly, I understand why they made the core changes regarding vehicles. I do regret that a lot of the actual the main tanks have just kind of found themselves without a place.
Yeah.
In the new armies. It's yeah, here's a transport. That's it. I don't think any of the new codexes really rely on vehicles that aren't transports.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunate. I mean, we'll see what AdMech brings. I'm very curious.
Faction designed around vehicles.
Exactly. AdMech and Guard would be the two.
Yeah.
Where it's okay. I actually don't think that Guard need core at all. I don't think core has a reason to exist in Guard. Because all of their orders are very specific on what they affect, and it all affects the logical stuff. You have infantry orders and you have tank orders. So maybe, I guess they'll probably give Lehman Russ an infantry core, and then they'll just stop it from affecting characters. So that way, you don't move your own officer, because, boy, there's nothing in the world faster than a single company commander when all the infantry are dead. Pew!
40 inches.
He just goes. Mathematically the most you can go is 24. And then he somehow ends up on the other side of the table. You're wow, look at him go. So, yeah.
Yeah, but a small change like that can be done without introducing core to the whole thing.
Exactly.
Hellions are super overrated. They don't need a nerf. What do you feel about Hellions?
Hellions are good. I don't think that Hellions need a nerf immediately. I don't like to just say oh yeah, this is new and broken, nerf it. I think there's a couple things with Drukari that I would like to see nerfed. Frankly,
Succubus?
The Super Succubus needs just the competitive edge warlord trait needs to be rewritten. And then I think that liquefier guns are a little too good combined with Dark Technomancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just either they can't benefit because they don't roll to hit, or they if you roll one
to wound, you take the mortals. Yeah.
I think that's reasonable.
Give it a downside.
Yep.
Because they just
that would be a simple fix.
Exactly. That, and then I don't like that they just start with 14 command points by accident. Because if they had just said Drukari get 2+2 command points if they do a raiding force, okay, that's annoying, but that's it. But they just kind of backed into it is the problem. It just looks like an oversight to me. So clarify if that's what they want, and I guess if they don't say anything, then we know that's what they want. But
they've been saying a lot of nothing on a lot of
they
things.
have been saying a lot of nothing, so we'll see. Honestly, I'm wondering if there's a big FAQ coming because of how little they've been doing in a lot of these.
Yeah,
Day one
it's
FAQs.
been so minimal for 7 weeks of effort.
Yeah.
Obviously not 7 weeks of effort, but it took them 7 weeks to just publish a basic document.
That makes me think that there's got to be a big FAQ coming. Unfortunately, They haven't said that, so we'll see.
Summer's usually chapter proof was last summer, so
Yeah, they used to do ones in April.
yeah,
They used to do
big
April,
FAQ.
big FAQs at the end of April.
So maybe this summer, after a couple codexes are out, they try and do a little rebalancing of the points. That would be helpful for some of these struggling factions and struggling units.
Absolutely, I'd love to see it.
Richard, how do you do your red on those Necrons? I start with the Mephiston red as the base layer, and then I work up to the, what is it called? Evil Sun Scarlet. That's the layer paint on there, and then I highlight with Squig Orange.
Squig Orange.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the red I use. I actually use it on my Tau as well, so that's how it's a very nice, good-looking red.
Okay, this is it.
Snake is a counter to Nick, Sweet Tea to Mark. What are the counters to you guys? We don't have counters.
That's
John's
exactly
the
true.
All-Seeing Annihilator, I'm the Unstoppable Destroyer. There are no counters
Indeed.
to our jank.
Yeah. To be clear, it's not Annihilator that sees some things. No.
All-Seeing.
All-Seeing. Not Destroyer who is stopped on a rainy Tuesday. No. Unstoppable.
What do you think about 16 Flamer Crisis? That's a lot of Crisis. My big problem is one of the things you want to do against Tau is hide from them for as long as possible, hide from their shooting. You need to be able to interact with stuff behind the ruins. So with the terrain density in 9th edition, you either need like very fast units that can get behind, but most of the Tau is super fast units like Piranhas and Tetras and that type of thing that can jump behind the ruin. They don't also do damage. So there's a real limitation there.
Get you a unit that can do both.
Do a unit that can do a lot of damage and ignore line of sight, that's the Airburst unit. I think it's the best that Tau can bring. And it also has longer range. The 12-inch range is brutal for the Crisis suits. They're committed.
Yeah.
When they're shooting, they're committed.
18's not great, but 12 feels worse.
Yeah, 12 is brutal. I like auto-hitting Crisis. I like the small 3-mans. If you want to just run a cheap Crisis unit that you don't need to put any buffs on, 3 Crisis with Flamers is pretty reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But that would be going... So the way I would do it is I would drop the two Remora units to get the Flamer Crisis. I just think the Remoras are better. Would love if the Dune Rider got open-topped. That would be a nice change. Both tanks used to have the hover tank rule to ignore the heavy penalty, and then they were just like, delete. Yep. They could have changed it to something else, but delete. Got the easy way out.
Yeah, they did that with a lot of things, unfortunately.
I wish they added something there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like a stratagem, like 1 CP, hover tank can fall back and shoot. Or like hover tank can move over models, but like 1 CP.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be inbuilt. Do
Airbursts work well with AP0? You always run ATS with them, so because they can take up to 3 different things, I take ATS to Airburst.
Yep, I like it.
But the efficiency comes from the fact that they're veteran cadre from Farsight Enclaves, so they're ballistic skill 3. You can spend 2 CP to count the target as 5 Markolites if you need to, and you can also have a commander give up his shooting for 1 CP for commando to let it reroll wounds. When you stack all that efficiency on the volume of fire that they put out, it actually can kill a lot of different things. Also, Tau of 1 CP ignore cover for a battlesuit unit. So
yeah,
AP1 ignore cover is actually not as bad as it seems.
No,
especially with rerolling wounds.
It's quite powerful. Even.
But that's why I run things like the Ion Tide to help with anti-tank.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
I missed the love to the balance every 6 months from 8th. Lately, FAQs ended up being quite disappointing. Only minor things. Tallyman still taking CPs in both command phases. Some Dark Angels nonsense. Yeah, they have not tried to put any... It seems intentional. They're not trying to do anything that could shake up things.
Yeah.
Which
you would think that's because they want to later.
Yeah.
But perhaps there's another intelligence behind that.
So eventually, I assume we will get that. But for now, it seems just minor things and things that they did not intend explicitly to happen.
Yeah. Your Custodes, do you base them on the Mars paint?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need... It's corn red on the base.
Yeah, I've got some corn red right there.
Okay. Do you need the Mars paint?
I will, but not that.
I have 3 things of them in there. Martian Iron Earth Crust.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, if you don't put the corn red down on the Martian texture paint, it peels off.
Mm-hmm. Do not want that to happen.
Love Blood Angels, love Dreadnoughts. Would a Dreadnought-focused Blood Angel list work? Not necessarily BA-specific Dreads. What might that look like? I think you go start with Redemptors. Probably 2 of them, maybe 3.
Yep.
You'd have a Libby Dread in there, maybe 2 Libby Dreads. And
3 Libby Dreads.
3 Libby Dreads? No, you wouldn't do 3 Libby Dreads. It's too expensive. And then after that, none of the other Dreads are that amazing, but you'd probably go for the Forge World Dreads, the Contemptors, and go for Volkite.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Blood Angels don't particularly support the Dreads as well as other chapters do, but if you wanted to run Dreads, those Dreads are actually strong overall, just baseline stats.
Yeah.
So that's the direction I would go for Blood Angel Dreadnought heavy list. And Libby Dreads are still very good.
Mm-hmm.
How long have both of us been playing? John, how long have you been playing?
Warhammer 40k. I got my first models on my 12th birthday, and I'm over 13 years. Just over 13 years.
I started playing in 3rd edition, but not competitively, just Garage Hammer stuff. I got the Dark Eldar Space Marine box set, and then my brother picked up Tau, and I picked up Blood Angels and Grey Knights when they were an all-metal faction. When they were really Inquisition, they were Demon Hunters.
Demon Hunters and Witch Hunters?
Yep. So I picked that up, and then I played until early 5th edition, had a break, and then came back in 8th edition. About a year and a half into 8th edition.
Right on.
So been playing consistently since then.
Yeah, I've been playing pretty consistently the whole time. I think I took some semester-long gaps, but anytime I came back for winter or summer break, right back into it. Right back into it.
And you started with Tyranids?
Started with Tyranids.
John is a loyal servant
of the Four-Armed Emperor.
The Hive Mind.
The Hive Mind. I'm an avatar of the Hive Mind. I am the Stormlord.
I'm working on Loyal Night Lord's army. Which Codex supplement should I use?
Ooh. Immediate thought is Raven Guard.
Yeah.
Raven Guard would be my immediate thought there.
They have a lot of tricks.
Yeah.
They want to be speedy.
You can do your custom successor stuff. They're definitely more in the shadows than anyone else. I think from a fluff perspective. They also have a lot of rewards for jump pack units.
Yeah.
So you can get some totally not raptors in there.
How can I protect my warrior bobs from Drukari? Love the Silver Tide, can't give it up. That's why I think you have to go for the transports, the Ghost Arcs. Drukari don't pop transports that easily with their low. If they're running 6 Raiders, 6 Dark Lances. Mm-hmm. If they're Blackheart, they'll get the reroll to hit. If not, then no. And then trying to wound you if they don't have which is the one that gives reroll wound.
It's Obsidian Rose.
So Obsidian Rose will get the reroll wound, which is better into the Ghost Arcs because they have the transhuman.
Yeah.
But
still though.
Yeah.
Then you don't have any rerolls on the hits, and it's still just a 4+.
Exactly. So if you're touching a forest or something like that, it can be very inconsistent for them to do damage. You're going to pop the 1 CB Quantum Shielding strat.
But why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah.
You mean the 2 CP Quantum Shielding strat?
If they have Blackheart.
That's fair.
Yeah. But I'm still going to use it.
Oh, yeah, you are. You got to use it. It's not really a choice.
I think you have to go with Ghost Arcs to protect the Warriors. The 20-man bricks just have too many counters now.
Right on.
Witch Hunters was such a good codex. Really hope we get Jump Pack plus Eviscerator. Candace is back. 2+ invuln save optional.
I do remember that. Oh my goodness. You know what? I would really love for them to do a Jump Pack Candace. They keep doing Space Marines for all these event exclusive models. I feel like that is a perfect opportunity. Instead of giving us a 4th Primaris Lieutenant with a Power Sword and Bolt Pistol, give us a
4th, John? We're talking in the
No. We have the Primaris Lieutenant with a bolt gun. We've got several of those. We have Primaris, Lieutenant with a Power Axe, Plasma Pistol, and Power Sword. And I'm just talking the Power Sword and Bolt Pistol.
Okay.
Only 4 of those.
But yeah, I imagine maybe they'll come out with a new character pack.
I would love to see that. I want to see more options for existing characters rather than new characters, personally. Yeah.
You mean you don't like having 10 different characters to pick from?
Nope.
A lot of them shoved into an elite slot?
Yep, just all of them into an elite slot. Why not, right?
How's that Dreadnought coming along?
It's coming along pretty well. Just going to do a little bit. One more blue dry brush on there.
And this game is tomorrow.
This game is tomorrow, but
John's got some work to do.
You know what? I am a dedicated painter. I paint a lot, and I will be painting after this paint stream's over. The paint train has.
I'm surprised you didn't just throw the blue on at the same time on the other one.
I'm actually not gonna. I'm not gonna do that one blue.
Oh, because you don't need it.
This is the third one, so we already have 3.
That's the third one.
I got 2 so that eventually we can give one back to Chris Frost. But considering that the game was tomorrow, I was just like, I'm just gonna do one.
Fair enough.
And this one will probably actually get done with the airbrush. I just want to make good use of the paint stream time.
Yeah,
but I'm also considering painting it up in my own Custodes scheme. I just have to actually sit down and do that, which I haven't done in a while.
What is your Custodes scheme?
Shadowkeepers. Shadowkeepers. So we'll see if I can. If they claim victory, perhaps that'll be the spark I need to go finish my own Custodes army. Because I use Richards because we don't really need 2 Custodes armies, but. No. If I'm going to paint another army, Custodes is a pretty easy one to do.
It's a quick one. But you do have Deathwatch on the plate.
You're not wrong.
You do have
There's always a lot to paint in this house. There's always a lot.
Yeah, that Deathwatch army is coming along. We have most of the models for it.
I think we do have most of the models, yeah.
So it's just a matter of sitting down, building it all, and painting it up.
Yep.
And magnetizing all the options, because Deathwatch do love their options.
Yeah, I don't think we're magnetizing everything, but we're going to magnetize some of it. I blame Nick for this.
Why did Drukari have to tease him away?
Yeah, he was like, no, I want to paint it. It's like I offered to do a lot of the work in the area frame. He's like, no, I want Deathwatch to be mine. I'm like, okay, that's fair. Then he's like, yeah, I'm not doing Deathwatch anymore. I'm like, okay. I'm like, does that mean I am? The Drukari, they certainly got Mr. Nanavati's attention for good reason. It's a very, very deep, well-written codex. Literally, I don't think you could have asked for more as a Drukari player.
Yeah, I think that was.
Frankly, units that aren't viable, I can think of 2.
Clawed Beast?
No, honestly, the Clawed Fiend is not even the worst.
Really?
It's a cheaper spawn. That's better in combat. And when you look at it that way, it's like, that's not even bad. I don't think it's needed, but there are no changes I would make to the Clawed Fiend.
Razorwing Fighter? The Gym Fighter?
The Razorwing Fighter is one of the 2 that I'm thinking of. The other is the Talus. I think Talus are just why? Talus didn't get much.
You think they're just overcosting?
Yeah, it's just they kind of stayed the same and lost the Thorpe Invuln buff, and everything else around them got better. So it's like, all right, you are slightly less tough, and you're just so much worse.
Yeah. Another bite question: what is the best way to run Eldar? Shining Spears, support characters, Craftworld strats, XR traits. I've seen people run the withdraw power.
Yeah.
As the XR trait, but the one that gives you +1 to your saving throw.
I actually like that better than the +1 saving throw.
I mean, I've seen both of those being run, so it's kind of how you want to use the unit.
Yeah.
You can decide. For support characters, you're going to want to throw Fortune on them, protect.
100%. I think Hunter of Ancient Relics is a staple. Get that extra attack in there.
Yep, and then
either a shooting buff depending on the rest of the detachment.
Either the extra range or the AP if you're close.
Absolutely, there's a lot of good options there for the Shurikens.
What do y'all think about the Terminus Est Army of Renown? The Fester discipline seems amazing. Fast respawning Poxwalkers look very good. Well, you're going to see it tomorrow on stream.
I think it's very one-dimensional, but it's a strong dimension.
Mark Perry is running it. Mm-hmm. Led by
Madman himself.
Yep. Demon Princes. He is running it tomorrow into John's Imperium Soup.
Into this Custodes Dreadnought. This Custodes Dreadnought will be part of the tide that is trying to... part of the golden wall that is trying to stem the tide of Poxwalkers. And you know what? I'm glad he's got a 2d6 shot flamer. Because I'm just going to be overwatching and in combat and just rolling these dice. Like, alright, let's just see how many Poxwalkers we can get here.
There's no easy way around it.
No, you just got to gut that one out, I think.
So, Mark actually thinks it's quite strong. We're going to see how strong it actually is tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to get
if it can beat Vengeance for Cadia Manticores.
Nothing can beat Vengeance for Cadia Manticores. It's impossible.
Well, nothing chaos.
Well, this might be the one. We'll see.
I'm running pure Covens in a casual team event, and even Talus are actually pretty good. They just are usually overshadowed by other options because of how deep the book is.
They're still not even bad. Yeah, bad is relative here. Yeah. I just think, Covens just have so many options.
And it's not like the flyer is awful either. It's
no, it's
not
still
really
fine.
needed.
Yeah.
Black Templars or White Scars?
Ooh, you know what? I do love my my White Scars, of course. They're my favorite Space Marine chapter. But I will say, we just recorded an episode of The Art of War, the one after the Dark Elder episode, with Jack Harpster talking about his Black Templar list. And honestly, it's a really, really cool army, and it actually made me want to play Black Templars.
Yeah, and they have actually some really great strats. For just an index...
Honestly, they might have the best stratagems of the Space Marine chapters. Like, no lie. I think they have the best stratagems of the Space Marine chapters.
And they're 1 CP.
And they're all 1 CP. There's one that's 2, but it's really good too.
Yeah.
So, it's like, you know what? Not even mad about this. Black Templars, they're something else.
If you want to take people by surprise, Black Templars is a great choice.
Absolutely. Black Templars are phenomenal at what they do.
My Custodes are Shadow Keepers. They really pop, but the edge highlighting takes time.
Yeah, I would buy a new dry brush just for that. Like, this army gets its own dry brush.
What do you think? +4 range, +2 movement, +1 advanced custom step is worth it instead, in addition to Farsight? For the Flamer Crisis, Fusion Hazards, some other... I think Farsight Enclaves is the best, but that's because I run the big Crisis unit, and that strat, you really need the strat to make that work.
Oh, is the Ballistic Skill 3, is that Farsight only?
It's Veteran Cadre.
Oh,
it's a
never mind,
2
okay.
CP Farsight Enclave only strat.
Yeah, I'm suddenly on your side.
But if you're running the Flamers where you don't need the Ballistic Skill buff, then it opens up Custom Step. I still think Farsight is just better because of the efficiency of the rest of your army. Everything being able to reroll 1s within 12 inches, and then reroll 1s to wound within 6. You want to be close. Things are going to get close to you in 9th edition. So that just comes up all the time. It's just value.
100%.
Once they're close to you, you don't actually really need the extra range, and instead your opponent's going to use terrain to make sure the extra range doesn't matter on your Flamer Crisis or the Fusion Cascade hazards, which I think are a little too pricey. The Cascades themselves is a good weapon. It's just, for some reason, 65 base points for a hazard suit when it should be like 30, 35.
65 base, that is
when
high.
you have to pay for weapons. So it's just Tau didn't get the love on the Forge World side that they needed. I think Remors are the best of the bunch.
Yep.
But if hazard suits get some points decreases in the future, I could definitely see them coming back. I think Crisis suits are just better straight up right now, if they're Farsight Enclaves. My favorite part of Drukari is getting wrecked by their leadership stuff. A unit of 6 Hours Terminators getting taken out by 10 Witches and a Raider with leadership debuffs. Don't envy that. But Tanglefoot... You need a Tanglefoot. And roll that 6 and then they fail the charge on Snake Eyes. With a reroll.
That's what I want.
That's what that one Tanglefoot that I had that was good.
Oh yeah.
Rolling the 6. That feels so good, but it is. There are times where you roll the 1 and it's like, no, not today.
Yeah. Tanglefoot it's just unreliable, especially without a command point reroll.
Yep. How do you feel about Harlequin's list with a Drukari, Drazzer, Incubi patrol for Fight Last? Don't hate it.
Don't hate it at all.
They lose advance and charge, but honestly,
if you're in boats,
you can get there close enough.
Yeah.
And are they going to shoot at your boats over the Harlequin ones? If they're not shooting the Harlequin ones, they get to survive for longer. So it's a trade-off. I think that's a great value add. The Drukari stuff is just amazing.
Yeah, just like a battalion of dark, maybe a vanguard, like Harlequin Warlord, a vanguard of Drazar, 3 squads of Incubi, 2 or 3 squads of Racks. I think a vanguard you can only take 2 troops. So two squads of Racks just to have a little extra.
Yeah.
So those liquefier, or maybe do Blackheart so that you got the fun raiders, the nice rerolls.
Yeah, because that'll give a little extra long range punch.
Exactly.
If you need it.
Plenty of options.
Harlequins typically
and access to Vect.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
That would replace the bikes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Bikes are fine, but they're not that great.
Thoughts on a Sisters Brigade, but 12 by 5 basic Sisters. You can still fit in 2 Retributors and Repentia with their Rhinos.
2 Retributors? I guess you have a single Mortifier. I don't think 12 units of Sisters is necessary. I think I'd rather have more Retributors.
I think Nick's right on the money with around 5.
Yeah.
Just enough.
Yeah. I don't like the full Horde option there.
It's just the Sisters don't do a whole lot.
No.
They can obsect the objectives, but...
Bloody Rose ones are not bad, but they're not amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
you are losing
good
other
to
tools.
Yeah, I'd rather have the other tools.
How strong do you rate the Void Raven Bomber, and how to deal with it?
Ooh. Void Raven Bomber is an interesting threat. I don't actually think it's that amazing. It's not bad, but I don't think it's that amazing. It's just so unreliable. I personally don't want it in my list.
But when it pops off,
there's always the chance that it does way more damage than it should. Because it's just like you're just rolling 4-ups and just seeing what happens.
I think it's a mortal spam army.
Yeah.
You run 3 of them, so even if your opponent kills...
I think maybe 2. The problem is that they're locked. You can only have 2 flyer slots in detachment. So, like, the third one wouldn't be the... I liked, like, the third one to be in a different attachment. Then it's probably... You probably don't have 2 detachments that want that. I honestly like 2 as poison tongue, because you can use that stratagem to pull them off the table. Yeah. The redeploy can also put in strategic reserves, which is insanely good. Yeah. Phantasm Wishes it did that, so... I like 2. And then, you do, like, you take the Phantasm Grenade launchers, you do all the Mortal Wound, jank, and spam out the butt. You still have some decent MSU in there because, bottom line, your Dark Eldar. That could be a very viable army.
Yeah. And there are some armies that are just going to struggle with that.
That really will, yeah.
Venoms versus Raiders.
Raiders all day. It's only 10 points more for an extra 4 wounds and a better gun. And better transport capacity.
T5 versus T6?
T5 versus T6, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If Venoms were 65 points, if you didn't have to pay for the 1 Splinter Cannon, that would really consider it, but they're 75, unfortunately.
Why do Custodes not ignore combat attrition modifiers like Marines? They probably will eventually.
They probably will when that's a thing. Frankly, I think Custodes should auto-pass morale checks, period. Yeah. They're Custodes.
Custodian guards are leadership 8, which we found out.
Like,
remember that?
Yeah, I was like, what is even happening here? No, Custodes should auto-pass morale checks, period. Yeah. Like, Marines shouldn't run from combat often. But, like, Custodes. Like, how are Deathwing are fearless? Fine. Honestly, they don't need that to make them high leadership. Custodes. Yeah. No. Custodes do not run. Period. They're literally, like, individual fighters. Like, why do they care if someone, like, next to them dies? Like, no. Unacceptable, I think.
How's it going, Jim? Hope you're doing well. What kind of hobby projects are you working on?
Yo, what's up, Jim?
I know Jim was working on some awesome-looking Chaos models. Old school ones before.
Jim's always got something good on his paint desk.
Well, Jim is one of the best painters I've seen, period.
Yeah, it's probably the best painter I've lost to. By a long margin.
Getting that orange, the Troll Slayer orange.
Yeah, it's just trying to get a little Troll Slayer orange here.
Look at the Ghost Kill, John.
Ghost Kill? I don't want Ghost Kill.
It's a Ghost Kill.
Can I get that bottle of the Mars Iron Earth thing? I think I'll just do a little orange here and then I'll use that texture paint. That'll probably do me for the rest of the day.
Yep, I'm all good whenever you're good.
Right on.
So what do we got coming up, John?
Well. Today, in the War Room, we have a nice Imperium Clinic. That is myself and Mr. Siegler. Yep. That is going down in about 2 hours, right? That's at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be talking about everything Imperium. I believe there will even be some time dedicated to the Grey Knights.
I am good. I already saw people asking Grey Knight questions. I'm excited.
Grey Knight time.
Cannot wait to talk about Grey Knights.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about AdMech as well.
I'm sure. We may even talk about Custodes and Guard, who will be featured in tomorrow's Streamhouse RTT game.
Definitely. So look forward to that in the War Room. We've also got coming up tomorrow, stream game, next round of the RTT. It's going to be John Lennon playing his Imperium Soup against Mark Perry's Death Guard. He's bringing the Harbinger's Terminus Est.
Assault Force. Super interested to see that. It's not something we've put on the table yet, but Mark believes in it, and there are 100 Poxwalkers coming my way, which is more than I was expecting. That's a lot. That is what's coming my way.
Then on Thursday, we have another excellent matchup in the Streamhouse RTT, and that is John Lennon's Dark Angels versus Nick's Drukari.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to that one.
That's a tough matchup. But
tough matchup. You know, the new Drukari are powerful, but there's a lot of shooting in this Dark Angel army. Dark Angels are a very good codex. I think that they've totally got a chance here. Yep. I'm excited to prove it.
And then in the War Room, it is going to be me playing my Talist. I got some more Remoras that I'm going to be adding into Nick playing Harlequins. So great matchups this week. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we got the semifinals and the finals. 6 games this week.
6 games this week?
So we are putting out all the streams possible for your enjoyment.
Yep.
So look forward to that. We are currently running that Gleam campaign. So if you check out any of the RTT games or the list games or the list discussions, click on that Gleam campaign. Tell your friends. Tell your family. All you have to
Pets.
do is, pets.
You gotta tell your pets.
Tell your 40K models that are animated.
Yes, absolutely they are.
Go ahead and click on any of those links for us or our sponsors on social media. Follow us, subscribe, like, etc. You'll get entries into our giveaway. And there's over $3,000 worth of prizes. There's exclusive coaching calls, war room access. There's table war mats, 3d6 objective mats. There's Warpfire gift vouchers. And Indominus box, there's Army Painter Mega Paint sets. And
The list
wet
goes
palettes.
on and on.
There is a $100 voucher from Golden Globe Gaming, which is our paint sponsor. You can see their lovely work behind us in that slideshow for a character model. And we've got Big Bear 3D with an exclusive terrain set. Not even do we have it at the Stream House.
Oh no, the nuclear silos?
Yep. So
I'm really looking forward to seeing
cannot
what
wait
that
to see
looks
all
like.
those prizes. Do check it out for us. Let your friends know. We really appreciate all your support. And we hope to see you for those games.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out. And we will see you next time.
Bye.